I don't waste my time with that. You know, that way I know I don't have to do these ones. And then ones that I want to check, that I haven't got to check, then I just write them in that list, and when I get around to it, then I check it. There was one I needed to add in here, actually, since you guys are all in here. I'll add this one, and then I'll re-upload it. What the heck? Oops. I'm putting Drupal gardens on there because I recently lost 3,000 of them, and so I really like Drupal gardens. It was one of my favorite ones, but I can't really afford to waste it.
Right, okay. Holly, I'm going to jump in questions and just now from what we've got there, because Dana was very, very good, and she put a bunch of questions into the fan page. The first question she came up with was, could you please go over the process of how you were creating the private blog network? Are you using software for that as well? And if so, what would that be? So I know that you've got your own scripts, but are you using things like RankWiz as well?
Yeah, I mean, I use RankWiz and I use FCS. Both of them basically are the same thing. FCS, I have a lifetime. And then it's like $350, I don't know, for a lifetime. And it makes all your accounts for you. You just can like set it on a VPS, and you can put like your emails, or you can use the pre-existing emails. You would put in like your keywords or your usernames, and it just makes the accounts for you. In RankWiz itself, I just, here, I'll show you. Oops. I didn't want to do that. I'll show you what I do for RankWiz. I do like as simple as possible. Yeah.
Yeah. While you're there talking about FCS, there's a lot of people might not be aware of what FCS is. Also, between the two, if it was a newbie approaching both of those tools for the first time, which one would you think would be the easiest one for them to use?
The easiest one to use is by far RankWiz,
right? Because
I can already go buy the accounts already made, and you're going to get random names, which is not a big deal. I don't need to have my Web 2.0s. None of them are niche related. The URL is never niche related. It doesn't matter to me. But I can just go here and I can order 3,600 WordPress blogs, and then they're sent to my my network.
Okay, and that means they're ready just for you to start posting content.
Yeah, I mean, when you have RankWiz, you can have you get monthly blogs anyways. So I mean, they're already made for you. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. With FCS, it's a little bit more janky, I find it to be, and I don't know. I mean, it's a one-time off price, which is good.
Right.
But I use RankWiz. I mean,
okay.
If you don't want janky and you want easy to go because you can buy all of them, you want to do RankWiz.
Okay. I've got a little confession to make. And when Dana had discovered the AC repair in Miami, we did a little bit of reverse engineering on it. I was using it.
You reverse engineered me, didn't you?
Yeah, I did a little bit. Yeah, because I wanted to see where the links were coming from. There was a whole bunch of sites that I would not recognize at all. I guess those were created from your script, your own personal script that you use.
Yeah, I mean, well, you could, like with comments and with GSA. I mean, that was primary
GSA. Yeah, okay.
GSA. Yeah, I dropped like, I don't know, it was like 500,000 comments every day for 5 days.
Okay. Incredible. Okay, let's go on to The sort of, did you want to cover more with the blog network question before we go on to the next one?
No, I'm good.
Okay, okay, right, okay. So Dana saying you mentioned you had you have 30 servers. Are they VPS dedicated? How many servers would you need to get started to be able to use all the software you use, such as GScraper, GSA, etc.?
What I do is I get dedicated servers from ovh.com. And if you don't know anything about like, you have to get like an ovh.com server.
Right.
Dedicated server. And then I split up the dedicated server into 4 VPS servers, basically. Because the server I get is like about $115. And if you get a VPS, A, it's going to be $35 for one, and B, it's going to be slow as hell. So you can't run GSA and GScraper and Scrapebox and all those softwares on one VPS with like a $35 charge. So that's why I get a dedicated and split it up to 4. I don't split it up personally. I don't know how to do that. I go to like Odesk and I put a job out there for someone to split my dedicated into 4 BS for like $20 or something.
I'm sure.
And I put the job in at night. Yeah. And I mean, if you know, like, if you know people who can do it, that's fine. But I just go to Odesk and then by morning, my 4 VPSs are made.
Oh, that's awesome. So then they will put the software on there for you as well, yeah?
Well, they don't put mine on there because I already know how to run mine.
Okay.
So I just have them make my VPS because I don't know how to do that.
Okay. And you just take it from there. Okay, so we might have to cover that in a little detail, and maybe in a separate, recording or something, if that's okay. Let's go on to some of the questions that are coming in here on the question box. What's this? Syed Azam is saying, what is Web 2.0, the new term released in 2009, something more related to presentation? Web 2.0 sites, Syed, is sites that are on the Excel file that Holly gave us a Dropbox link for. Have a look through there. These are just places where you can put some content, some blogs and stuff like that. But what she was saying is she chooses those that allow you to embed videos and some other things you can see on the Excel. Okay.
And you can like become creative with some of those embeds. I don't list some stuff, but you can like you can do like question and answer, like Yahoo Answers. Any kind of platform that will take a link that looks like an embed or an embed.
Right, okay. I think some people are having problems getting a hold of the Excel. Guys, I will put it into the Facebook group, okay? If there's a problem getting it here, I will stick it in the Facebook group and we'll also get it into the questions. Maybe, Robert, you could stick it into the questions.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, and I'll carry on with this. Ty is saying you got FCS to work. Sounds surprised there. I haven't used FCS, so I don't know what the issues may be there with FCS. Let's see what else we got here. How do you load content to 3,600 blogs? Dave Dolan is asking.
How do I load content to all those blogs?
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to do it with RankWiz, you could just set up a job and it blasts out to, I have my network set up in, I have a different kind. I have a PA network and I have a Embed network, I have an Anchor Link network, I have a pest control network. I have a niche network if you want to do that. And then you just set up the RankWiz to blast out to each blog on the network.
Okay, do you ever crossover with the networks with different niches, or you just keep them?
Yeah, well, I don't have issues, but I cross over.
Yeah, I think that way you can keep a little bit more.
If you have that many blogs, really, I don't. You can say only post 100 a day for 5 days, and chances are it's not going to hit the same blog. or you can, and actually I think you can tell it to not hit the same blog in 5 days.
Right, and this is using rank quiz you're talking about?
I don't know if you can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you can do that with FCS, but you can do it with rank quiz.
Okay, so rank quiz is the one that you're recommending. Okay, let's go to the next one. VPS provider link. I think we already put that in there, Ty. If not, then if Robert can get a hold of that, and we will put that. We will make a little PDF from this as well, and we will put those resources inside the PDF. Ty is also asking what level does she buy for the VPS. You mentioned it was, what level of VPS are you using, Holly?
It would be, let me check one sec. The one that I bought was SP1s. They don't have them anymore because I probably like bought them out. But what I would get now is, I think it would be the SP128s probably. DDR3.
I'm just going through some of the other questions.
So I would get the SP64s. That's pretty comparable to what the ones I have is.
Right. Okay. So the price per month is $109. That is, you know, for a lot of people who are just starting out, that's going to be something that might sort of scare them. What would you say is the minimum they could start off with to really sort of replicate some results pretty quickly, pretty fast for some of the keywords that we've seen?
I think, really, they're down? For just a VPS, you could do, oh my God. I think I get my proxies from this guy.
Okay.
So you would want a Windows VPS. 6.8 gigahertz. So I mean, if you're going to start right off, maybe the Geek one, just to start off. It's going to be a little bit slower because it's not on a dedicated, but if you just want to, you know, just to get started.
Yeah, so you can get 3 of them for the price of one or the other one, which is just to get started.
Yeah.
Is pretty good, I think, and then they can scale up from there once they start to monetize.
Yeah.
Another good question actually just came in from Syed. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Syed. Is it the same content on all the blogs? So obviously you're doing the same embeds for campaign once you've got your Hangout up. Are you changing the content out? Are you spinning or anything like that?
I'll show you what my content is. Okay, so this is my base contact for contents for Miami. So I just type out what I want to say, and then I go use TBS. I don't even know what it's called, the best spinner maybe.
The best spinner.
And I just put that in, and I then paste that in rank with, so every single one of them has the same one.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the same spun. I mean, there's like a little bit different. And in fact, I've actually done some with exact same content. I don't really care. It's a backlink to me. So.
Yeah, this is really intriguing for me because we had done a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, we had done a WordPress plugin called Local Traffic Commando, and basically what it was doing is it was creating thousands of unique content on a WordPress blog, just creating thousands of blog posts in one click. And now I'm thinking how we can use that to maybe post into Web 2.0 blog network, because it's the same sort of principle with the coding, except for instead of posting into the WordPress, we could post it out. So I'm actually going to get my coder to look into that after this and see if we can take that further and do this with it, because it's perfect for what we're doing here. There's something I really would like to try and get get happening. It creates all of the different titles and variations and stuff like that. And when I did reverse engineer you, I would notice that the various anchor texts you were using, the different kinds of post titles and stuff like that, which is interesting, and it actually fits right into the local traffic Commando strategy. If we could just take it away from posting inside WordPress to posting into Web 2.0, so I'm definitely going to look into that one, guys. And if we can get that done, that should be a big help. Okay, let's get back over to some questions from Dana here. If anybody's got any other questions coming in, if you don't understand anything, then feel free to ask and I will get around to them, okay? I'm just trying to cover as many questions as I possibly can, okay? Dana's asking, what is your process for YouTube channel creation? Do you create additional channels under one account or new accounts? For example, do you create 600 videos? If you create 600 videos, are they all on the same channel? And do you use proxies for channel creation? How do you handle verification for so many channels? If you don't.
Okay, so my guy I buy from my YouTube channels, because remember I'm cheap. And I don't spend a lot of time on this shit. Let me log in. The phone's ringing. Where's it at? 921. I don't know what that is. Okay. Okay, so well, that's not it. Oops, find sort threads. I bet like 100. I bet like 100. Tony.
Yeah.
I gotta move you for 2 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
I think that's my kid.
You carry on.
Okay.
Okay, guys, so Holly's just got to take that call there for a couple of minutes. I'm seeing some very good questions coming in. Just keep them coming in, and we can get those to Holly as soon as she gets back. So yeah, how can you contact me? The best way to do that, so yeah, is through Facebook. If you're in the Facebook group, then just friend me there and send me a PM.
You can hear me, right?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay. I'm going to paste this in the Facebook, or not the Facebook, in the chat. So this is who I use for my YouTube accounts. So what I do is I buy the, let me see here. Okay, so I have bought the YouTube phone verified. The thing that with those is that because he gives them to you on a different IP, you have to phone verify them anyways, so don't buy those. Okay, so what you want to buy is the Gmails, PVAs. I usually buy 100 at a time for $25. And then I go to Twilo and I rent out a number for like $1. And I use that same number I'll use for like a client or a website or whatever, and I verify it with that number, and then I have that directed back to my phone, my cell phone. So, and the reason is because I have to, I actually have to verify that phone number one time a month on my accounts, and I don't know if that's because of a setting, and I can't find the setting where I don't have to do it, but I have to phone verify my accounts once a month when I log in. So I can go into Twilo and just redirect it to my phone. It takes only like 2 minutes, and then I redirect it back to my client site. So I have to take numbers that I'm actually going to use.
Right. Okay.
So that's how I do that. And I don't do anything like special with my channel. I just make it like,
Okay. Holly, can I ask you?
I just...
Yeah. I was just going to ask you if you could just copy that URL from the Black Hat and maybe just stick it in a notepad file, and I'll get it from you later, because a lot of people will want to probably get a hold of that service for the PVA accounts.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. The YouTube channel itself, I don't even take the time to make a special channel name. I just click on channel. You have to phone verify it, and then you have to, you go to channel settings, and then you click on this verified there. Once it's phone verified, then you come down to live events and you click on enabled. So once that's done, then you can do your Hangouts.
Right, okay. Are you using multi-channel accounts or just from those PV accounts that you buy, you creating multi-channel accounts or not?
Yeah, I like this channel. This one has 26 on it. This is my case study channel, which I don't care if people attack these ones because they're pretty. I've already attacked them myself, so it's not like you're gonna attack them, right? But you know, like my landscaping has maybe like 30 to 50 on per channel. You know, I don't like having more than 100 on one channel, because if that channel goes down, I lose all 100. But I don't know. When I get sick of a channel, I switch.
Okay. Let's see some other questions that are coming in. Dana, did that answer the question that you had asked, or did you have any additional questions to that? Let me know in the chat box in here, or the question box in here. Okay. Let's see where I left off here. Dana's asking again, you have a private blog network. How did you build? How much did it cost? And how many sites? So we kind of covered how the blog network was built, because you've got your own private script and you use RankWiz and sometimes using FCS. How many sites on average, and what's the average PR? I'm guessing they're not starting off with much PR anyway. But how many sites are you putting in each network? Oh, you mentioned
well,
in each
I don't
networks.
track PR.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't track PR. I track PA. But to start off, Pavlu and RankWiz will run some deals sometimes. You know, like you get 25% off or 50% off.
Oh.
So when he runs those deals, I try to buy like $300 to $400 at a time, and then you know they're fresh ones, so they don't have PA on them. So once I get them, then I'll send them to my script and get PA on them, which takes about a month. And once they're like about PA 40 at least, then I'll move them to my Embed network, and then I'll start putting links on them.
Okay, and for anybody who's wondering what PA means, it's a Moz terminology for page authority. If you look at the Moz tools on Moz.com, you can see that they've got some tools, and they do domain authority and page authority and stuff like that. Okay. How are you driving PA via your script, Holly? What are you actually doing there to do that?
To drive the PA up,
Yeah.
it's all about links. It's like links in millions. I mean, you got to have some link list.
Right.
You can't, like, if you send 10,000, that's not going to do it.
Okay, so I'm guessing you're using things like comments from Scriptbox and using GSA and things like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see the next one here. Ty asking, can we do a webinar on how to set up Amazon Web Spaces? I'm not sure if he's asking or wants to do a webinar. Ty, if you can just confirm what that is there. If you want to do a webinar, that's fantastic. Let's do it. Larry's asking, when you say slower, when we're talking about the servers, the PVS, he's asking, what does that actually mean in terms for a newbie to understand? What would the difference be from a dedicated and a slower server?
A VPS would sit right on a dedicated servers, and there's a lot of VPS's companies,
Yeah,
like Burma Hosting, that steals your license, so don't go with Burma Hosting. And a dedicated is just like a machine, like a regular computer that you basically no one else really has their own stuff on, I guess. I don't know if that's a good explanation or not.
Okay, it's no problem. That's no problem. Let's just jump into the next one. Syed is asking, what is the name of that software? I'm not quite sure what software we're talking about anymore, Syed, because we talked about quite a few. You need to remind us which one you're talking about. How do you geo-target, and where in the system do you put it? That's a question from Dave. What I saw when when I was looking at some of the links you had and the Ahrefs, you had kept it actually quite basic for just the main sort of terms that people would actually search for when you were doing your geo-targeting. So you had AC repair Miami, you had 24-hour AC repair at Miami, that kind of stuff. Do you have a sort of dedicated list of things that you use every single time?
I usually will so what I would do, okay, so this emergency AC repair is a national keyword and I'm number 9. So if I would want to go after it, I would put all these, at least 3 or 4 of these websites in this website. Okay, I'll just show you. Oh, not there. And then I would go, so he's got 12,000, oh, he's got a lot of do follows. So if he has 11,000 do follows, that means I'm going to need to make like 20,000. But, so then I would go to anchors and look at all of his anchors, and I would just export it and save it, and then open up that export, and then go to Google AdWords and put in the Google AdWords, and then I would pull them all out and shove them in GSA.
That's pretty awesome. It's quite simple, but pretty awesome way to do it. Guys,
I don't even care the search volume, because I want, see, with GSA you have to have a lot of keywords, or you're going to have too high of a percentage. So
yeah.
I mean, it's good to have 1,000.
Yeah, what she means by percentage, she's talking about the actual anchor text that's being used as well. That's correct, Holly. Yeah, we're talking about anchor text.
Yeah.
And what we need to be doing now is vary the anchor text. That's part of the sort of recent updates we saw in the last couple of years in Google. So what we used to do was just make it really focused on our main keywords that we wanted, but now you really need to vary that anchor text. And I've seen people ranking, for anchor text percentage for the main keywords as low as 5 to 10% sometimes. And it's really all about using the related keywords that Google will understand what that keyword is about or what that topic is about. You're really optimizing now for topics when you're doing anchor text. Okay, let's see the next questions that's coming in. How to use Ahrefs? I think Holly just showed you a little bit there, Syed, but we will cover maybe in another webinar sometime how to do that. Will there be a replay? There always is replays, Leon. We get asked this question every time we're doing webinars. We always have replays, whether it's a Camtasia recording or recorded from GoToWebinar. We record both ways now, so every webinar will be recorded and put into one of the fan pages. Okay. If I use a VPN, James Berger is asking. Actually, before that, how many proxies do you use in GSA? Richard is asking. Richard Porter.
I use it must be like 120 privates.
Well, that's quite a lot. Which company do you use?
I use that Solid SEO VPS, but actually, I mean, you guys would be fine getting like 20 to 30.
Yeah. I will stick some links in for where you can get some proxies, where you can get some cheaper ones. You sticking solely or exclusively to private proxies, Holly? Yeah.
Yeah, I have to, because I run it across 10 GSAs. So if I actually think I might have 200 proxies, but it's something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. If I use a VPN, then I don't have to worry about using the same computer to post accounts. VPN, I think you're better off using proxies in a VPN, James. It's just going to be so much easier. Dana saying 100 at a time, classic. Shelley asking, can we drop the link again for the account setup? Shelley, we will try and put everything in a PDF at the end of this. And Dave Dolan asking, do you use playlists on your channels as well?
I don't think so, because I don't know what that is.
Okay, no problem.
I'm guessing I don't.
And CJ Boston asking, do you keep channels local or niche specific?
I try to keep it niche. Like, if I have I mean, I usually try to keep it niche, yeah. Except for my public one, you know, like I would have all pest control in one and all handyman on one.
Yeah, okay. And Larry's asking about when you mentioned in part one about selling the YouTube channel to the affiliate network for $30,000. He's saying she sold a channel with under a dozen videos or more. How many videos did you have on that channel?
There was 160 on there.
Yeah. Larry, if you did listen to part one, if you haven't listened to part one, you really do need to go back and listen to that. Otherwise, some of this might not be making a lot of sense to you. Part one was about 45 minutes. It was actually a hangout that we did with Holly. And to be honest, I had no idea what was coming. And by the end of it, my jaw was just wide open. And so was, you know, most people when they heard it. It was just like, wow. And it created quite a buzz, more than I've seen in any webinars or hangouts that we've ever done before. And that was just something very, very unique. So if you haven't seen part one, I would advise you after this call to go back and then watch the replay of this one as well, because it will blow your mind. Okay. What Holly did is she sold the channel for $30,000 to an affiliate network because basically she dominated them, and she explains how she created these videos. And I saw some of the videos myself, and they're like 30 seconds, but they're actually very, very good because they're more like sort of adverts where, you know, strong call to actions, quite simply done. And she explains how she did that all in part one. So this part two is about the questions. So anybody who's just jumping in now, not understanding some of this, you really do need to watch part one after this, and then watch the recording of this one, and it will make a lot more sense. Okay. Scott Rogers asking, are you using proxies to start the hangout from? When you start the hangouts, are you using proxies?
No. I use them all in my main home IP.
Yeah.
I only use proxies for GSA.
And Ty, she's creating Web 2.0 PBNs, not website PBNs. There's a big difference. Yeah, well, yeah, okay, Ty, yeah. To do 3,600 or 11,000 or something that Holly's got there, yeah, it would have to be Web 2.0. Otherwise, you're going to have a Class C nightmare on your hands trying to get through all that work. So Ty is asking, so there are two networks at work here. I think what you mean, Ty, is confirm for me if, or correct me if I get it wrong. I think you mean doing something like RankWiz and a private script Web 2.0 blog network. And if that's the question, then that's correct from what I understand. Dave asking how to boost the page authority. We kind of covered that, and that's sending a whole bunch of links, which is basically using GSA and using script box comments and things like that. Dana asking the same question. Ty asking Web 2.0 PBNs and Embed PBN. Embed PBN, Ty, is where you can embed the videos, from what I understand. Okay. Joseph, VPS is cloud-based virtual station, dedicated server is a physical machine. I'm not quite sure what that really means. Does that make any? Oh, okay. He was answering the question that somebody else had asked before, I think. Okay. Dana asking, buying lists for GSA like serlist.com. I guess that's a service, Dana, that GSA are offering. I don't use GSA myself.
Yeah, I can make a list of the people who I buy from, and then I can put it in the Facebook group.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, thank you. We'll stick everything in a PDF for them. Dave asking, every keyword variant gets a video. I think we covered that in part one, and yeah, the answer is yes to that. Is that correct, Holly?
What was the question?
Each keyword variant gets a video, a separate video.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the next one from Larry is Holly using the same video for all her Miami SEO repair keywords? No, she's making one video for every keyword. And is she making small changes to the video?
For the Miami one though, Tony, it's only one keyword.
Oh, is it really? Okay.
For the affiliate guy, I actually made 160 videos of it would have been like 320 keywords because I put 2 keywords in for each video. But my niches, like my lead gen, I usually try to do 1 keyword per location. So it would be like sprinkler, Milwaukee or something like that. So I make a video for each location.
A lot of people would be happy to hear that. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because then you're just changing the keyword out, but you got the same video with the same call to action, telephone numbers, etc. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and you have to for ranking so fast is you want to have 1 keyword for each location. Yeah, It's going to take you longer, but I have a VA outsourcing system. I can drop the link for that. That it finds you VAs that are qualified, and then you just basically send them a training video. And I do it for locally. I hired a girl locally, and yesterday we put up 400 Hangouts, and today we put up 200 Hangouts. So between the, if I had her working 8 hours, she could probably do 600 Hangouts, is what I would guess.
Okay, so
it was like 600 different locations and for the same niche, but I'm trying to blanket like the whole state of Florida. So I want to get every city.
Yeah. How are you getting the list of cities? I know there's a website somewhere that we were using before with the local traffic Commando. There was
I haven't figured out a good way to get cities yet. I usually go to Wiki, but I was actually considering calling the phone company and asking them to send me a phone book. Because I'm I don't know how to get them.
There was a website. I'll try and find it. And it basically did all that. Another way that you can do it is when you're in the keyword planner, where you can choose the locations, and usually people are choosing by country, you can actually start typing in sort of like a state like Florida, and then you can just use the expansion from there, or start with a city in Florida and start with the expansion from there, and it will actually pull in a whole bunch of different keywords that are already sort of geo-targeted that people have been using as well. We can cover that probably in another video that we will do later. Okay. Let's see what's the next questions coming up here. From James Berger again. So if local money site has few links and competitor has few links, don't you risk Google penalty if you go for millions of links to get high PA, or are these links going to second level site, non-money sites? We had covered that, James, in part 1, and that's part of the reason everybody's jaw dropped. She's just blasting huge amounts of links, and it goes against everything we've been sort of been listening to and even teaching from my point of view over the past year, certainly. Holly, do you want to address that about sending links, how many links you're sending to your videos?
If I want let's say if I want PA65, I have to have 25,000 indexed probably. And it doesn't really matter what kind of link it is, it just has to be indexed. So I hammer the piss out of it, you could basically say, because if you drop 500,000 a day, you got to figure 1% is going to get indexed.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying you have to have a ridiculous amount of lists.
Right, okay. And by list, you're talking about lists for tools like Scrapebox, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're sending these links direct to the video, to the Hangout?
Yeah, I send them directly to YouTube. I'm playing with doing 301s to my money sites, so I'll send the links to a domain that I have actually bought, and then I'll 301 that to my money site. So I have control over it. So if it drops, I don't care if it drops, because I'm just going to re-301 it to another. Like if it's a .com, I'll 301 it to a .org, and it should pop back up in a couple days.
That's a good idea. Yeah, if you can automate that, it's a very, very good idea. Okay, let's see. Let's come down a little.
I also do with my SEO clients. So if you hire me for SEO and I get you to #1 in whatever amount of time, and then you decide to stop paying me, I'll turn it off.
Yeah. Yeah, you got better
I mean,
control.
there's people that I have to control it because I'm making the links. So this is how it goes.
Yeah, I agree with that. And from my own experience as well, I went through something very, very similar. And with a very, very large company, actually, in America, there was a franchise company. We had built something like 64 websites to them. And then they got shitty, didn't want to pay. And luckily, I had set it up. It was so easy just to redirect. And they didn't like that. Anyway, so let's go to the next one. And Lee is asking.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry?
Yeah.
Carry on. Holly, you can carry on what you were going to say.
Oh.
All right, let's just jump into the next question now. Lee is asking, what percentage of any, if any, of your PBN do you incorporate expired domains? Are you using expired domains at all?
I previously bought 1,500. Okay, just 1 second. Give me 2 seconds.
This is mind-blowing stuff, guys. 1,500 expired domains. If that's what she's about to say, then the question is.
Sorry, I have 4 kids and 2 dogs.
6 kids.
Yeah, I mean, I did it before, but I had 1,500 de-index, so I really try to stay away from private domains. But if I'm going to buy an expired domain for $12, and I'll build it how I want it, because I don't want to. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I don't want to have to lose. I don't want to have to lose 30,000. Just, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You mentioned something about 1,400 there. You weren't talking about buying 1,400 expired domains, were you?
Yeah, I had 2 years ago. I had 1,500 PR6s, and
Wow.
I was one of the top link sales, and I had insurance and an SEO corporation on my link network, and I mean, it went down the same time as like ELN and ALN and all the de-indexing that happened, but I feel like because it went down because the insurance guy was like ranked #1 across a ridiculous amount of cities, and it just, Google took notice to it, because when they started going de-indexing, I went onto my web hosting and I actually tried to take them offline before they could de-index them. I thought I would be able to do that, but I couldn't. It took them all down.
Oh.
So once that happened, then I moved to the Web 2.0 networks.
Okay, and that's been working very well for you, obviously. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't go back to private networks.
Yeah, it's so much work as well. I can imagine how much work that would take.
Yeah, you have, I had like 1,000 IPs, man. I had like really good unique content on each website. I had Class C IPs for each one of those websites. I mean, I did it by the book, how Google says to do it by the book, and it took them all out. So now I don't care. I have the same content. I make a video embedded blog with like 2 sentences, and I blast the shit out of it, and it works. So.
Cool. Okay, and Lee's got quite a few questions there, so we'll just try and go through them one at a time. Lee's saying, I know you run an indexing service, and we would put the link in the PDF for that as well. Would you, but if you didn't, would you recommend rapid indexing for these type of Hangout projects, or would they be best to naturally index. I think they are indexed pretty naturally because of from Google Plus, Lee, but I'll let Holly answer that question anyway.
Yeah, the Hangouts index within seconds, and that's how I know if it's competitive or not. Is if, you know, most of the stuff I make, it'll index and come into YouTube at like number 1 or 2 because it's a Hangout. And there's many times it actually comes into the Google. The Hangout comes into on the first page, and it's just because, you know, because you're localizing it, you're just not going to have the competition. And I use my indexer, and I index everything. So
yeah,
because I need to have them indexed, otherwise it's not going to bounce.
Do you want to?
And I get pissy if it doesn't bounce in 7 days.
Yeah, that makes sense. But do you want to talk about your indexer for a few minutes and let people know what it is and?
Yeah, my indexer is called the Incredible Indexer. And there's a YouTube video if you guys want to go look at it. If you go look at AC Repair Miami, there's a YouTube video that actually has my indexer on it. What it does is it doesn't build any links, it doesn't build any RSS, it doesn't build any social shares, it does not build one single thing that you would ever be able to track it. I can't say what it does, but I can say that it goes across 2,500 domains, and Google won't ever find it. So, you know, for private domains, private blog networks, it literally does 100% indexing. In my video, I put 3 or 6 private domains that I just bought. I got them online. I put them in my indexer, and they were indexed in like 30 seconds. For Web 2.0s, it indexes at, I mean, it kind of depends, you know, like there's ones that just are stupid and won't index, like LiveJournal or Insane Journal. Those are just more pissy and don't like to get indexed, but my favorite ones are Tblog, Blog, WordPress PL, Weebles. Weebles, I have a love-hate relationship because sometimes they don't like indexing, and then I just have to, you know, power it up. But yeah, I mean, you figure out what ones don't index and what ones do. But even if they don't, I just send it there because it's still getting the bot is still coming to see the index or to see the link. So even if it's not indexed, I guess I don't. It doesn't bother me so much because I know it's getting seen. Yeah,
and the cost of your service, I think, was about $25 a month or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's 100,000 daily for $24.95, I think.
Yeah, okay, that's quite.
Or you can do 200,000 daily for like 47 or 49.
I think for most people starting out, the $24.95 would be very, very good. If you're comparing it to other services out there, this is working for Holly right now, and we've seen examples of the ranking. We've understood from basically when Holly did the part 1 that she's getting massive results. So if it's working for her, then I would highly recommend that. So go and check it out, guys, for that one. Okay, so let's carry on.
Yeah, and I built the indexer for me. So I built it just, you know, because I knew I had to know it was going to work for my kind of links. So, which is the shitty ass links that a lot of places don't index. So it's a pretty awesome indexer.
Yeah. Okay.
It's funny because the owners of other indexers are on my indexer. So.
Interesting.
Yeah. And like, don't send your shit links to my indexer, but yeah, they do.
Interesting. Okay, so let's go to Lee question number 3. Which do you find that affects the longevity lifespan of the Web 2.0 accounts more? Profile customization or filler posting, i.e. posting 2 or 3 no link posts before posting with your dollar link? I'm not quite sure. I'm trying to make sense of that in a simple way to be able to explain it.
I think he means like I get my links from, or my blogs from RankWiz, and RankWiz automatically will take the default off. It'll put like a a different theme on. So that takes care of that problem. And then the second thing is I hammer the crap out of the Web 2.0 before I put the links on it, or before I put any content on it. And I do that because I know it's going to tolerate my spam, A, and B, by the time I get to it, it has some decent age on it anyways by then. And then I just I start doing my embeds. I don't post like 3 articles and then an embed and then 4 articles and then an embed, because I mean I've tried that and it didn't do anything different. So it's a backlink. If I lose it, then I'll just make another one.
Yeah, I think let me just see this question again. I'm not sure I quite understood it properly the first time, but I don't want to miss anything here. So actually, when you were saying that you hammer the crap out of it, people are not understanding what Holly means. Is basically she's sending a whole bunch of backlinks to using the GSA and things like script box comments and stuff. That's before she makes any posts on that particular Web 2.0 sites.
I send like guest blogs or guest books, forums, blogs, articles, wikis, trackbacks. I send everything they tell you not to send. Because then I know if it's going to live through that, then I can use it.
Yeah. Okay.
I know this totally blows your mind, Tony, right? Because you're like, I can't believe she does that shit.
I'm really happy to hear it. I believe it. I am very, very happy to hear it, because this is the kind of stuff I was doing before all these updates and stuff like that. And I used to have a blog. It was sitting on page 1 in UK for some major keywords related to SEO and like SEO London, SEO training. It was like number 2, number 3, jumping up and down. On page 1, and there was a guy just above me, and he had little arrows pointing down. I still don't know to this day how he did that within his description, but he had these little arrows pointing down saying we're still number 1 in UK, and that guy got me so mad I was blasting like hell. And when we had the Google algorithm updates, I just completely disappeared, and I thought, no, that's too much work to try and pull that back, and so I never really optimized it properly again. I never fixed it, which would have basically meant a whole bunch of links going out with just very anchor text. Probably that's all it would have needed, but I just never did it. Anyway, let's see, number 4 from Lee. I don't think you mentioned in your first discussion, but do you find social signals around your Hangout projects necessary for ranking, or are they not needed because of the massive link power?
Is it like shares and Facebook likes and shit?
Yeah.
I don't waste my time with that.
I don't think you would have time to do that anyway.
I know they tell you to, and that it helps, but I don't know. I don't buy views, and I don't send likes because you have Hangouts. Hangouts are not going to show your views, so it doesn't matter if you get. I don't know. I hit start on GSA, and that's it.
Yeah. Okay, and I saw an interesting conversation in another Facebook group the other day, and there was a guy, he was doing something very similar, not in such big volume as what you do, but he was ranking fan pages just by running GSA direct to them, and he was blasting the shit out of it, and he's getting fan pages ranked.
You can do that. That's awesome. Yeah, I have a script that makes. I gotta tell you about this. You gotta make this for me. Can I say it now?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a script that makes Facebook pages, not Facebook groups, but Facebook pages for each location, for each. Okay, so like AC Miami, Florida, Hollywood, Florida, for every single city in Florida. And then you can spam the crap out of those too, and you can bring up your YouTube video, then you can bring up your Facebook page, then you can bring up your Twitter page, then you can bring up your pin interest, then you send your 301 to the money site. So that's like, 5 spots right there. Yeah,
that would make sense. We can talk about that after, and then, if you want us to make something, then happily, if it's something that's working, we'll definitely do it. Okay. Okay, so any page authority pumping tips you can share on beefing up the link power of the web tours? I think we kind of covered that. Basically what she's doing is just driving a lot of links to it before she even gets any content on there. So we got through all of Lee's questions there. let's jump over to Dana's ones on the fan page again. Just a second. Dana saying, I've stumbled upon a few of your niches and noticed that in the videos you're pointing to a specific product and website or a specific business location and phone number, which to me means that they're your clients. How do you structure generic videos to be able to repurpose them to point to a specific business, or do you do new ones for each time you have a new client? So I'm guessing
they're not geared toward a business versus I own that phone number. So when I bump off the guys at the #1 spot, then I'll call the guy I bumped off and ask him if he wants my leads, and then I'll redirect that number to him. So I'll do something generic, like AC Experts of Arizona or something like that. But, I mean, I'll own that phone number, so they can never break ties with me. So if, they don't pay their weekly, then I'll just shut the phone number off.
Yeah. And so that way you're controlling it that's even more control, because if you're controlling and you can redirect as well any links that you're doing, then you've also got the telephone number you can redirect, and that's a simpler process, I guess. So you can just change the client over without even having to touch the links, which is even better and much simpler to do as well. Dana just sent me a private message on Skype. So, Tony, I suspect you're not easily blown away, but I get the sense that you're holding back laughing your ass off at the quality and quantity that Holly was sharing on the webinar. Unbelievable. Spot on, Dana. Absolutely. It's incredible stuff. But, this is great stuff. This is what I love this stuff. I'm sure most people do. Okay, let's take another one from Dana. Could you go over in a little further detail how you're using Hangouts? You mentioned that you do some live and record others. She's a little bit fuzzy on what that means. I know you're doing Hangouts and scheduling them ahead of time. She's asking, why is it to give the backlinking embedding time to have an effect before the Hangout goes live?
So I used to set up the Hangout and then do embeds for 2 days and then come back and run it through a stream or do it live. But I found sometimes I lose an account if I do that. There's some people who say it's my links, but if I set it up and I set up my Hangout and then I come back 3 days later, 4 days later, and run the stream and then do the Hangouts, they tend to last a little bit longer. So I give it 3-4 days, then come back and hit it. Because, I figure, like, I don't want to waste all that time making the embeds and then have to lose it. And I've only lost 2 accounts, so it was too many for me to dink around with it. Because, if you can imagine putting up 300 Hangouts, and at that time that was live Hangouts too, so it was not pre-recorded Hangouts. So try to make your Hangout and then come back 4 days later, make sure the account is still good, and then do your either streaming or your live Hangouts, and then you hit it with your comments.
Right, okay, so basically, if I understood correctly, you're setting up ahead of time, but you're not running any links at all to it until after about 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense, and I guess that's a lot easier as well. And the next one, Canos Media Rig, I don't know if I pronounced that right, it's from the fan page, from Hangout fan page questions. For us without a PBN, what is the most powerful way to get these Hangouts ranked? Top 5 steps to follow, perhaps. If you were not doing, I think the question is, if you were not doing the Web 2.0 blog networks, what would you recommend people did?
Probably to get GSA and the lists, because I think GSA itself could probably bring it in pretty high. It's GSA can take you so far. So what GSA can't take you up to, then you would take ahead and do the embeds. And you really can just start with, if you don't want to spend a lot of money, you could even start with 10 Web 2.0s and build it up to like PA 50s and 60s, and then pop a couple links on, and you're going to see it move up.
Mm-hmm.
And then, then you can make the decision that it works or not.
Okay. Let's see what else we've got in here. Lee had put his questions in here as well, which was on the Hangout questions. Clifton asking how many Hangouts a day to a single account. I think you covered that for the amount of Hangouts that you would do in a day to a single account. Did we or not?
Yeah. I do it on ideally I like doing 30 to 50 on one account, but sometimes like I'm not paying attention and I have way too many, but ideally 30 to 50.
Okay. Dana's asking, how often do you incorporate a lead gen website in addition to video? She did see an instance where you had a link in the YouTube description to what appears to be a very generic lead gen type site. Do you add them only after you have a client for that particular location and niche?
Yeah, I can't build a website, so what I do is I go to is it WP Twin or something like that, and I copy it, and then I just change the phone number and the location, and then once I have getting calls are on the first page, then I'll go and buy a domain for it. Because I can't make a website, I don't really even try to mess with that until I have to.
Yeah, it's really...
and at that point, you also know what links it needs too, so you're not wasting all your time,
Yeah, what's really coming across from the first interview that we did on this one as well is Holly doesn't waste time trying to learn new stuff that she doesn't know how to do, like building websites and creating a VPS. She gets other people to do that so she can focus more on just ranking these ranking the content and monetizing it, which is really, really, really good example for everybody just to take. I love the honesty of this. It's like, I don't know how to build a website, and there's a lot of people might be a little bit shocked by that, but when you look at the results that she's getting, it's phenomenal, and it's just such a brilliant but simple approach. I don't know how to do that. I'll get someone else to do that, or I will clone that site, and I'm just going to keep on moving forward. It's just it's refreshing and really good to hear. Okay.
Yeah, I just put my JV outsourcing thing in the chat, so Robert, you can add that to everybody. I don't get a commission off that. I'm not affiliate of him in any way. He's just a guy who I met, and he taught me how to do some JV stuff.
Excellent. Okay. Question from Alan Thorpe. How do you handle calls that come through the number for your client in the local Hangouts? How do you know how many leads you're sending for your videos? What do you use to get paid from your clients? 3 questions. So the first question.
So Twilo.
Yeah. So using Twilo or Twilio, whatever it's called, and that is basically $1 per number, as you mentioned before. And how do you handle the calls that are coming through? I guess it's mainly how you're tracking it. Does Twilo track that as well?
Yeah, Twilo will record the call, and it'll capture the phone number too. So you can actually listen to phone calls, and then at the end of the week, then I would send him the phone calls to prove that these guys were my guys.
Yeah.
And really, if you look at it this way, an AC repair guy on my $40 lead is going to make $10,000. That's what happened to me actually last week, and I'm not very happy about it. I have to figure out how to make more money because he had a $10,000 job offer for an AC repair in a mall, but I got $40 out of the lead, and his was $10,000, so I got screwed on that.
Well,
but yeah, I mean, you could do like revenue share then, but I haven't never tried revenue share. But I mean, that's how I went off on a tangent. So that's how, like, Twilo will record it, and then you just send my clients the calls. And say these are the good leads, and then this is what your bill is.
Yeah, okay, and he's asking how you get paid from your clients. You just send in a PayPal invoice or whatever. Or is it automated system you're using?
Tony, are you there?
Yeah.
Sounds like we have lost Tony.
Did we lose Tony?
I'm sure he'll be back on.
Sorry,
He probably got dropped. He is in Thailand.
I had muted because I had the drilling starting. I had to get up and close the door. And I forgot to unmute, and I was talking to myself, asking you questions.
That's awesome.
I forgot to unmute. Okay. The third question was about the how you're invoicing them. I think the question is, it's not an automated system to invoice. I guess you're just looking at how many calls are made and then sending them a PayPal invoice or other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't have it like any automated or anything like that, no.
Okay, let's see what
I think like there's that program like ACT or something by Joel Troiner or something, and I think he will automate it.
Yeah, I've seen something like that before as well. I think just keep it really, really simple. If Twilio is working like that for the volume that you're doing anyway, then if it's working for you, it can work for other people quite easily as well. And there's a final question in the Facebook fan page from Dana saying, you're clearly generating a ton of content on a daily basis, both manual and with software. Do you do any outsourcing? That was the link that you just put up there a second ago, wasn't it, for the outsourcing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You mentioned.
Yeah, the joy proof. Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned something interesting. You mentioned that you use a local girl to help you to get the Hangouts done. Yeah, you know, I came across this kind of sort of scenario before several times as well. I've noticed sometimes that when you're working with people, say for example in the Philippines, that they kind of tend to disappear for 40-45 minutes at a time, and at the end of it you get the sense they're working with 2 or 3 different clients at one time, and by the end of the day when you look sometimes at the results that you've got, that you think, well, you know, for this kind of results that I'm getting now, for the work that's getting done, I might as well hire somebody local working with me, and you know, I can see exactly what they're doing, that they're, you know, can keep an eye on them and things are getting done.
Yeah.
You know, I actually start to think like that, you know, several times I've gone backwards and forwards, but that makes a lot of sense to me as well. And I know that Lisa Allen, she does the same thing as well. She uses, I think she's using her sister actually, and she does a ton of stuff, a ton of work for her as well.
Yeah, I use my 2 kids. I just started. I'm cheap, as I said, so they only get $5 an hour. That pays their cell phone. But yeah, you know, the girl who I hired, she just needed some extra money, and I go pick her up. She doesn't have a car, and I bring her here, and she works downstairs. She has her own kind of work area, and she plays music, and I just say, you know, I expect $200 an hour because I can do $300 an hour, so I'm giving you $100 off. So you have to do $300 an hour. That's the deal. And then actually, you know, I could go to the high schools and just, you know, just stop into the computer tech or the computer area, and you know, I mean, high school kids want money for cell phones and shit like that. So I would just say, you know, I need 2 kids 3 days a week for 4 hours, and it's going to be, you know, $20. It'll be $60 a week. Most kids are going to be like, it's gas money. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus, you know, I don't know, versus doing the VA thing. I mean, that Joyproof, it records the screen and it teaches you how to do your ad, and then, you know, it's pretty much hands off. But for YouTube videos, it's kind of a little bit more difficult. You have to use private proxies because they're in a different country. So you have to make sure you're always using private proxies for them and make sure they understand you know, it's frustrating. So either one works. Like if you don't have a local kids, then I would go that way.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. And I think it's just a simpler way to do things, and you keep complete control as well. Also, you know, with the Philippines, you notice quite a lot. If anybody's used outsourcing in the Philippines, they quite often have electrical issues, and you know, they go offline for a couple of days.
They disappear for weeks on end. And it's just mind-boggling. I'm like, I'll pay you $400 for the whole month. That's like really good because I don't even want to pay you $200, so I'll pay you $400. Now don't go nowhere.
Yeah, and you know what? I got ill there for about 4 weeks, just a few weeks ago, and I came back and I had obviously missed an invoice from the VA company that I was using, and I saw there was a lot of messages on the Skype. I mean, before I even read the messages, I just went on to PayPal and I paid them for, I think, I can't remember if it was for a month or for 2 weeks. And when I came back into the Skype and read the message, I found out I should only have paid for 1 week because they had heard that I was in the hospital. Must have been from Carl or from Robert or someone. And so I only needed to pay her for 1 week. And she just sent me a message back saying, thanks, you paid me a little bit too much, but anyway, I'll just keep it.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I would be
absolutely
like,
true. And I've
that's
got
not
something
happening.
like, I guess I've got something like 40 or 50 messages from her on Skype that I haven't even been looked at and probably never will be because of that. So it's just a different mentality. So sometimes it's better just to work with people who you understand, you know, the
Right.
mentality.
And they're only like 5 minutes away from
Yeah.
me. And, you know, I have I have an attitude, but I also, you know, I understand that these guys are kids and they're going to have an attitude and like, okay, well, I can find another job anyway, so you can listen to music, I don't care, but this is what I expect out of you. So, you know, if you're upfront with them.
Okay.
And I pay her every day, so she also always has that $20 a day.
Yeah, that's quite handy as well because for them, they know they're getting that money at the end of the day and they can go and they can plan things or go and do what they want to do. Anyway, let's have a little bit pause from you for a little bit, Holly, and let's bring Rolie in. Are you still around, Rolie? And we can get some sort of feedback and thoughts from Rolie here. If anybody listened to the part one from Rolie interview, it was actually very, very, very good content, but we were a little bit disrupted because my audio wasn't working correctly at the time. And I kind of felt that we weren't getting the best out of that interview because of that, and I wasn't able to ask the questions that I really wanted to. But Rolie gave some fantastic information in that interview as well. So, Rolie, can I just bring you in here for a second and ask you for your thoughts on what we've covered so far, and if there's anything that you would like to add to what Holly's been saying?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Do you want me to send you the presentation thing you do back? Do you want me to send it to you, Tony?
Yeah, please
Rolie?
do. Please do. I'll send it to Robert or any of us. Oh no! Do you mean to change the screen? You mean the presentation?
Yeah.
No. I don't think we need to do that. I was just basically asking Rolie what his thoughts were and what's been covered so far, and if he wanted to add anything to what's been covered and any of his own insights, because I know that Rolie's got a very, very smart mind when it comes to this stuff as well.
All right.
Yeah, well, Holly definitely does a little bit more in the spam category than I do, sending millions of links to Hangouts and different things like that. I do send thousands of links, not hundreds of thousands, that's for sure. But for the rest of the process, it's fairly the same. Dedicated servers, VPS, different things like that. But most people can easily get started out with a $30 a month VPS, because for the most part, you know, they're not going to be putting out 100, 200 videos in a few days like Holly does or I do. So you can easily get away with a simple VPS, simple home computer. If you want to do GSA or RankWiz, either one of those would work just fine, one or the other.
Yeah.
To rank, especially to rank for, like if you're going into the local lead gen market or local SEO market, you definitely can fairly easily pick off some lower or medium keywords, competition keywords, without trying very hard. Especially with the Hangouts on air, you can throw 300-400 links at it, and you usually can at least hit the first page. It might not go to number one, but it'll at least be on the first page. So most people can start fairly simple these days and work their way up to something that Holly gets to in the, you know, six-figure a year type business.
Okay.
But for the most,
yeah, you're a little bit quieter today for some reason. The volume there.
Yeah. What? Oh, is this any better?
Hold on a second. I'm just putting up my speakers anyway, and that way I can still hear. But just as I noticed, it's a little bit quieter than the last time we spoke. But yeah, I think it's really important what you just emphasized there, Rolie, that you can start with something as simple as just a rank quiz and a VPS and using something like GSA to drive thousands of links and build up from there. And what Holly's doing is just I'm still sitting here shaking my head halfway through everything that she's basically saying, because it just goes against everything that we understand. But if it's working, it's working, and we've got to take advantage of that. I think that with this kind of exposure that people are getting here today, Rolie, that there's a lot of people thinking, well, how can I actually get this done as fast as possible? Now, you covered as well about using just the rank quiz and a simple VPS, and do you want to cover just briefly about what you do for when you're creating Hangouts? Because you create them a couple of days in advance as well. Would you mind to cover that a little bit for people who may not have heard the part one?
Yeah, so I do similar to Holly when she ranks local videos and videos in general through Hangouts. I get all my content and videos ready, and I put them through, or I schedule the various Hangouts 2 to 4 days ahead of, if it's just a regular ranking project. If it's a promotion project for a actual company or something like that, it will usually do a week, because you want to actually drive traffic to the event. But if it's just a local ranking for lead gen, I do it 2 to 3 days before, and then get all the content ready in that time. And that's one of the good things about it. You can set up all your projects for your Hangout on like a Wednesday, and then on a Saturday you can just sit there all day running Hangout pre-recorded videos through Hangout and starting your backlinking and everything on. And you don't have to be working 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day at night when you get home from work. It's 6 or 7 hours on a run through that on a Wednesday, and then 6 to 8 hours on a Saturday, and you can easily get the ball rolling from that perspective. And then just right when the Hangout goes live, I just start my particular method of backlinking process with depending on the type of video or campaign I'm doing. If it's a local lead gen, I usually run it through 2 or 3 of my scripts that grab some high quality backlinks right off the bat to see if I can just drive it to page 1 fairly simply. If it decides to fight me, or if it's a harder competition keyword, I'll do sort of what Holly does and start firing the thousands of backlinks through GSA or through RankWiz at it. With I usually part my RankWiz embed groups into 250 in Web 2.0s at a time. Set them up for a local city, so anything that's sitting in that local city. So say Denver is pick Denver as a example. 250 Web 2.0 sitting there pointing to anything that I want to rank in Denver, and I just keep throwing more and more Hangouts on air onto that as embeds, and firing backlinks to that, and then firing more backlinks to the Hangout itself if it gets a little stubborn. And then usually within 2 weeks to a month, if it's not number 1 or number 2, I either redo the batch of videos because something might have went wrong with the backlinking, something might have got penalized, or it's just taking a little while longer, and then I'll throw up a few more videos and go from there.
Yeah, you mentioned something quite interesting I just picked up on. You were saying that you would send high quality backlinks first. That is kind of interesting because it's a little bit different from what Holly is doing. Can you go into that a little bit more, please, Rolie, what you're using for the high quality backlinks?
Well, one of the things that I have a little differently is since I'm in Canada, I got a rank for .ca, and quite a few times if you're just running GSA, you're getting a lot of .com, .org, .net, and various different backlinks from around the world, unless you really start digging into the campaign settings. And with that, you can definitely easily push it to push video or websites through google.com pretty high, but a lot of times in other countries, UK, Canada, things like that, you end up getting stuck on page 2 or 3 just because the content on page 1 or 2 has that slight edge on you because they have Canada-based backlinks or backlinks that are hosted on Canadian servers. So what I usually do to start off with is I have a pile of my own scripts and a pile of Web 2.0s and various Drupal type blogs that I have set up that are hosted on .ca accounts and hosted on Canadian hosted servers that I have high quality page rank and page authority on that I usually fire off first. So if I can get it to the top of page or onto page 1 with those .ca accounts, I don't worry about the GSA from that perspective. But if I can't quite get it to page 1, if it sits on page 2 or page 3 or say for .uk or .ca, then I'll start hitting it with the GSA, which usually pushes it over the top because you have the combination of both the .com type links and the .ca type links. So.
Yeah, you mentioned that you have some of your own scripts as well. Would you mind just covering the basics of that one, please, Rolie?
Well, one of the ones basically just picks up blog comment or blog platforms that allow single line trackbacks. Like Drupal does have their comment and trackback system, and a few other ones that have similar trackback systems where it just allows you to post a single anchor text link with just there's no comment to it, so there's no direct content that you have to worry about spoofing or writing or spinning or getting past moderation, which makes it a lot easier. And a lot of these trackback systems, a lot of people don't look at because they're on, like, for one reason, they're on .ca based domains, and a lot of people don't scrape for .ca. They usually do scrape for the regular .com, .org, and .net. So it just runs a simple query on the internet, picks up anything related as a .ca, checks the page authority automatically, and then if it's high enough page authority, it grabs a link from it with one of the diverse anchor texts that I try to use. And that's one of the big things right now. Is one of the reasons why Holly is able to do what she does, which a lot of people don't think about, is because she diversifies her anchor text so widely. A lot of people still want to sit there and push 1,000, 10,000 backlinks at a video or at a Facebook page, but they only use 3 anchor texts, 3 variations of their anchor text, and they get dinged. Well, Holly uses hundreds, if not sometimes 1,000 different versions of her anchor text, which diversifies her profile, which allows her to rank for not only the main keyword, but hundreds of keywords. Even if the keyword's only getting 5 searches a month, if she can get one click through for every 5 searches, and there's 500 of them, that's more than enough traffic that anybody needs.
Yeah. You know what, guys? I'm sitting listening to all this stuff, and I'm thinking we've got to somehow put all this information together. And I'm sitting here imagining me sitting, going through a replay and making notes and making notes and making notes. What I will do, if somebody wants to make notes from this and put it all nicely into a PDF, I will give you a lifetime license for the Hangout Traffic Commando when it comes out. Okay, you will get a lifetime license. So somebody will put all this together in a very, very nice format for everybody's benefit, that we can give out. This information is pure gold. It's some incredible stuff being shared here today. So that's an offer for somebody who might not you might not have the finance to be able to afford a system like Hangout Traffic Commando, but if you're willing to put a little bit of work in and do that, then you will get a lifetime license. And I'll give you some other stuff as well. Okay. Thanks for that. But you have some other scripts as well that you mentioned. How many different scripts are you using there, Rolie?
Between a few that I've outsourced and purchased and ones that I built myself, I think I have about 24 scripts that do various different things for backlinking and location gathering. And then I use my GSA. I got Ultimate Daemon and various other link building tools, Scrapebox and whatnot. And I got about 7 servers that are running full time, just grabbing various locations on the internet that I can post to. So
yeah. Okay, that's just incredible. It's incredible advanced stuff for a lot of people. Even for me, some of this stuff is pretty advanced. And
hey, can I ask a question?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Hey, Rolie, are you scraping in GSA for .ca?
I have one GSA set up specifically for .ca to post and scrape to, and it works sometimes, but you still get a little bit of
Right. Do
dot
you have
com,
the
dot,
X-Runner one?
what's that? Sorry.
The X-Runner scraper?
Yeah.
So what you want to do is use that scraper and use the probably the side filter and put .ca.
Yeah, I do that every now and then. You get one of those. You get a pile of those that are you pick up the domain, but it's redirected to a .com. So there's still a little bit of filtering I've got to do to make sure that doesn't sneak in there.
All right, cool. I just didn't know if you knew about that side filter now.
Yeah.
Okay, Tony, you can go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Okay,
Sorry.
so let's go through. Has anybody got any questions for Rolie? Let's before we pass back over to Holly, because we got Rolie next week. Don't forget, Rolie's coming in next Monday, and hopefully Holly will be there to do similar to what Rolie's doing today. So I don't want to go too deep into what Rolie's doing right now, because we will cover it in more detail next week, and we'll have a Q&A with Rolie next week. Right, okay, let's see. Anybody got any questions for Rolie before? Was somebody asking, would Rolie be interested in offering any private coaching? Is it just Rolie, or would you like Holly to offer that as well? That's a little bit. Okay. Oh, both.
Holly doesn't like private coaching.
Yeah, Holly doesn't like private coaching. Listen, I've got an idea. I'll talk to both Holly and Rolie after this, and we'll see if we can put something together that wouldn't be too intrusive on their time. And that I've got an idea. I've been thinking about it for the past couple of days. So let's do that. Okay. So let's see. Can I access the replay? Yeah, when it's recorded, and we will put the replay there. Syed, let's discuss. Well, Syed, we're in the middle of a webinar right now. We'll discuss things later with you when the webinar's finished. Okay, let's see. More questions here. Robert?
Yes, Tony.
Do you want to add anything while I'm going through these questions? Because I'm going to start.
There's so many questions. It's hard to pick them all out. There's hundreds of them. Everybody is here and in rapt attention. Nobody has left the webinar since it started.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well. It's a very, very, very high retention rate, which is fantastic. Would you mind to start, maybe take a couple of questions? I want to go and grab a drink and come back.
Okay.
Because I've already gone through 2 energy drinks
I do have a question here. Yeah. Someone is asking, Holly, how you track the calls that come through your number in ranking the Hangouts, and how you get paid by your local clients.
So I track them through Twilo, because Twilo will record them, and I buy my number through Twilo. So okay. If you're asking how much I come up with it, so you can find clients on Angie's List or Home Advisor, and I mean, Home Advisor has that PDF that somebody put out last year or something, and that has prices on it. I would guess that I don't know if Angie's List does or not, but they have a bunch of different niches.
Have you heard of analytic call tracking?
Do I have ACT?
Yeah, have you heard of that? Isn't it related?
I don't. Yeah, I don't have ACT. I use
okay.
a program that's like $30. I don't even know what it's called. It's oh my God. Let me look quick.
Now I know you use analytic call tracking, Rolie. Why did you choose ACT?
I picked it up quite a few years ago when it first started, and just seems to have evolved perfectly for what I need. It's got a lot of the features. Actually, he's coming out with the latest version here in the next month, I think, which is going to even have more features for IVRs and stuff like that. So you can even set up your own IVR systems in it, which would actually triple my revenue for that type of stuff. So,
oh, that's outstanding. Can you tell?
It's called WordPress Call Tracker.
Okay, I'm going to write that down. I pay $45 a month for analytic call tracking, and it seems to have a lot of options for me, but always looking.
It doesn't it email you your leads, Rolie?
Yeah,
Like
actually,
if you get a call?
anytime you can set filters for your emails. So anytime, say you have a filter for any calls over 30 seconds, it will email you it, and directly in the email, basically, you just click on a button right on your mobile phone or smartphone, and it will play what the recording is. So even if you're out anywhere, you can hear that somebody actually phoned and whatever the lead is. So I've actually had calls come in when I'm talking to clients, and the receptionist is taking the call. 5 seconds later, when the call is done, I can actually play it for them. So it's pretty neat that way.
Yeah, this WordPart or WP call tracker, it doesn't. Not that I can see, it doesn't have that capability of emailing you the lead. It would be nice to have it sent to your email, so I don't have to like log into Twilo every day.
Does it also send your customers invoices like ACT does?
No,
No.
I would have to send it.
I do have a question here. Somebody wants to know how you load all that content to all those blogs.
I use Rapid Content Wizard, same thing as Content Machine. I stick a keyword in, output it, spin it, and load it in RankWiz. It takes 2 minutes.
Rapid Content, what was the last part?
Rapid Content Wizard?
Wizard, oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You can also use Content Machine.
Does that also embed your videos?
No, that just gives you the content for the blogs.
So is it, how do you embed your videos?
My script in RankWiz.
On RankWiz, okay.
Yeah, I do self articles instead of like, I don't have RankWiz script, but I use self articles and I can control where my link gets dropped.
Oh, I see. So it's a script you use in conjunction with RankWiz.
No, RankWiz, you can't use like them together. Like I have a script that does stuff entirely different from RankWiz, but on both of them I use a spun file in RankWiz, and then I put my embed in my article.
Okay.
I probably just confused you, but you have to go look at RankWiz to see what I mean, basically.
Right.
Okay, so
it's on my list of things to do.
I think what she means is just putting the embed code into the article. Is that correct, Holly?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, Robert, I don't know where you got down to because there's so many questions here, and I'm actually trying to catch up and find out where you have just left off. And
we just asked about how she embedded her blogs and how she was able to do her call tracking.
Okay. Let's just pick up from Dana. Dana's saying, I consider myself fortunate to be on this webinar because the content being shared here is the kind of stuff found in high-priced private mastermind groups. Unbelievable. Yeah, I would agree. I think most people would agree with that, Dana, and it's a big thank you to Holly and Rolie for being willing to share so freely. Ty asking, must we use Ahref or can we use SEO mods? What do you guys use, Rolie and Holly? What do you use for? I saw you using Ahref. Holly, do you use that all the time or do you use anything else?
Yeah, I always use that, or I use, I sometimes use SEMrush, but yeah, I always use that. Yeah,
I like SEMrush as well because it gives you the keywords without you actually having to input particular keywords that you're looking for. It just tells you what you're ranking for. I don't know how to do it, but it's fantastic for that. Rolie, what do you use?
I use Ahref. I also use Majestic just because I find it picks up more of the non.com, like it finds a little bit more .ca, .uk type stuff. And every now and then I use Moz just for the rank statistics, not necessarily the backlinks, because it definitely doesn't pull enough backlinks for any usefulness.
Right. Alex asking URL for private proxy. We will put that in the PDF, Alex, later. We'll put together a PDF and we'll do that. Okay, how many? Bob McAllister asking how many channels do you have? I guess that depends on how many projects you've got going on there, Holly. Do you get any idea how many YouTube channels you have?
The last time I checked, I had 500.
Yeah, yeah, and that's just going to keep growing over time as well.
Yeah.
Larry asking when is the detailed training course come out? There wasn't one actually planned, but this kind of all happened by accident, Larry. You know, we got how this all came about is I started to discuss some things with Holly and Rolie so that I could put together a very, very powerful system for the Hangout Traffic Commando. And, you know, then we got Holly in a Hangout with myself and Robert, and, you know, she just blew us away with that. And then we had Rolie in for his part one as well. And now here we are with the questions and answers. There was no detailed training planned in that, but if these guys want to do something, I will talk to them about that later, and maybe we can simplify a way that we can get, you know, sort of over-the-shoulder type training done if they have the time or the desire to do so. Okay, that would be entirely up to them. Could Holly do a webinar on best practices for GSA? You're in demand, Holly.
It's in the making. I've been asked in a couple different groups, so I don't mind doing it because a lot of the stuff is public knowledge.
Yeah.
I won't go over some of the stuff that, like my script in particular, but GSA, it's public knowledge, so that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We can talk about those things later. And your channels, what area are they? I think it means categories. You're mainly putting them into what sort of categories are you using for your YouTube channels?
Well, like, I mean, I put like my landscaper is all on, I think my landscaper is on 10 channels. So I try to keep the same niches in the same channel. So like my AC repair, I have 50, I think I have 50 on one channel and 50 on the other channel.
Yeah, I think he's talking about
as an example
categories. You know, whenever I'm doing some videos or creating new channels, I'm usually just looking at either how-to or education kind of thing. So I guess just find the one that's most suitable.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah, I just find the one that's most
suitable. It goes
suitable.
default.
Yeah. Ty saying, I meant to ask, can we use Majestic SEO? I think Rolie covered that. If you want to get some other sort of extensions like .co.uk and .ca, etc., then Majestic might be better, Ty. Patrick wants to know about different fast ways to monetize. We kind of covered that in part one, and you gave 3 great examples of how you do that. And one of them was selling the channel, like you did the example with the affiliate network. Would you want to talk about that for a few minutes, about the monetization that you're using?
Yeah. You want me to show you? I can show you one for like Amazon that I would.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how long you guys want to go on this, but
I'm okay.
Okay. So let me. All right. So you guys heard me talk about. Oh my God, espionage. Okay, so like, this is gonna blow you up. You're gonna be like, oh my God. Okay, let me see. All right, so if you're gonna do something with like an affiliate project, you would pick something like ClickBank or Amazon. So I would put in a Web 2.0 that I want to track. So let's do Squid Doodle. All right, so this is going to tell you the PPC and the SEO keywords. So I click on SEO keywords. So this now tells me all the SEO keywords that rank in Google for #1 and in Bing for #1 and for the search volume. So then I'm going to copy this and go to Canine and I want to rank for the United States, and I want to look up the competition on that keyword. And so there's no way this search volume is 3,300. That's hilarious. Homemade fancy dress costumes, no way. But we'll look. So what that's doing that, then I'm going to go into the Google keywords. It's like taking a way long time. And I put it in there. And then your keyword tools or your keyword ideas. All right, yeah, so like 10. I don't know where they came up with that 3,300, but yeah, you gotta do your checking. So let's look at fancy dress costumes. And so I'm looking at hopefully finding certain websites like Squid Do, which are not on there. Okay, let's not do that one. Let's do a different one. Okay, I'll pull up a file because I know where to. Just give me a sec. You see. Today's sale. Okay, so I put this website Today's Sale in here, and then it brought up a bunch of like Amazon type products. And I'm going to click PPC for this one because he used to do PPC, and I followed him because I did PPC on Bing and Yahoo, so I would follow him a lot. So let's look at that one. So you have like a forum, you have 2 YouTubes, and you have a Yahoo Answers. There's 170 terms, or 170 searches. So obviously this is one that I would go after. I don't care that it has 170 because when I'm going to target Amazon, I'm going to target 5,000 terms, 5,000 different products, and then I'm going to pull out all of these 801 terms, and I'm going to rank for all 801 terms for this acoustic guitar. So I'm going to hit, even if I don't care if it's, small searches, I'm going to get a cookie on your computer, and then you're going to buy it under my name. So I would normally put it in this because I trust this a lot more than I trust the Google AdWords. Although I think it actually pulls from that site too, I don't know. But I mean, seriously, you can rank for this probably overnight because it's not hard competition. That's pretty, easy spanking. Look at this one. Oh, let's look at this one. I don't even know what it is, so vendors CD60. Let me think of one. Probably WordPress.
So basically what we're doing here, Holly, if I can just sort of recap on it from what I understand, is that you're just picking a seed keyword, a very broad sort of seed keyword. Oh, not very broad, but you're looking for a product, for example, Amazon, you're looking for a seed keyword like the guitars example there. And then you're looking on page 1 to see if they've got any sort of Web 2.0 properties, videos, that kind of stuff. Squid Do pages ranking, and then that's how you decide if you're going after that particular niche.
Yeah, because I'm not good at finding seed keywords. So what I did originally was I went into that espionage looking at PPC keywords, and then I was like, well, I can put a website in here, and it's going to show me the terms it's ranking for, and it's going to show me the PPC.
Yeah.
So I actually put Amazon in here and YouTube in here, and then I export it to 1 million or 500,000. So if I want to see what is ranking, and it's something that I can go after, that's like the quickest way, because like this term, it has 1,600 monthly searches. I don't even know what it is. It's a guitar term. And there's 4 YouTube videos on the page.
Yeah.
So if you figure 1%, even that's quite low. If you figure 1% is going to click on your YouTube video, even if you get it to number 1, they're going to click on it, and hopefully they're going to click through to give you your cookie. I mean, that's why I have 5,000 of them, because I go after the low search term, because no one else is going after it. It's easy to rank. You can rank them very quickly in a couple days. So, like, I mean, I don't know. I don't have one of my favorite, but I put in all the Web 2.0s here. I put Amazon, and if I just want to find something, then I go look at the SEO keywords, and I try to find a term that I can try to rank for.
Okay. What you were saying as well is that you would just go after all 800 keywords. So that's really building relevancy around what you're checking to as well, and what you're targeting as well. So I guess that if you're going after so many keywords, then you're creating those hangouts for every single one of those. When you're doing with Amazon, are you creating just one generic video, or are you creating one for every single keyword?
No, for this I would just do the one keyword, the basic keyword. The only reason why I did that affiliate product for 160 keywords is because I knew that I could take them out by doing it. So it's an affiliate product. I probably would, like ClickBank, I would. Oh. And in fact, he has 3 other products, so I'm actually doing it again to him on another product. But yeah, I mean, if I know I can literally take over like that, then I would. I mean, it would be to do 801 Hangouts. It's 2 days, and it just is. And plus all the editing. Editing's going to take 2 days too.
Yeah.
So you can do one keyword. So I was just being a snot, so that's why I did 160. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Okay, so when you mentioned 801 keywords, you're using those for anchor text then? That you're probably linking that you can get ranking for the terms, just to clear any confusion that people might have. Okay, so
yeah, because those all will get, they'll all get pulled in. So I don't want to leave any keywords on the table.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a pretty good example. Let's go back and actually, Rolie, but while we're there, is this something similar to what you do?
For affiliate stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't use espionage, but I use a similar process. And the main thing, the one thing that people don't do properly is they don't use enough keywords when they're trying to rank. They try to rank for, like, on her screen there, they try to rank for body fat scale, and they might try to rank for 3 or 4 other buyer keywords like buy body fat scale reviews, but they don't really try to rank for the other 600 to 1,200 searches or keywords that show up similar to that. They, for whatever reason, leave them on the table, and even though that they're super simple and they get 10, 20 searches a month, they don't even try for it, which that's the key to ranking for affiliate products, is to even ranking for local lead generation stuff or local SEO is just to swamp the internet with every keyword possible that you're trying to rank for, and you'll rank for everything, and it will just push up the harder keywords and make it that much easier.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Anyway, we've been on this call for I don't even know how long, and we've still got a ton of questions still to go. What do you guys feel? Do you want to carry on, or would you want to come back and do a part 2 of part 2?
It doesn't matter to me, whatever.
Okay.
If you're tired,
are
you tired?
I'm fine. It's early in the morning here. It's 10 a.m. in the morning here. I don't know what time it is over there in America, but and people in the UK is probably in the middle of the night for them. But I'm honestly fine. I'm just really happy to have both of you here, and the stuff that we're covering here. I think It's really, really good information. So okay, let's just carry on with this. But if you feel tired, you want to stop at any time, just let us know. Okay. Okay. And okay. So we covered a little bit about the monetization, and somebody asking replays posted in member area. We actually posted them in fan pages, Mark. I'll put the link into the PDF at the end. Location of part 1 is in one of the fan pages. We'll put that in the PDF as well. I've sent out emails, and multiple times we've promoted that particular part 1 that we did with Holly, and we'll be doing the same with Rolie's part 1 this week as well, coming up in the build up to his webinar next week. Okay, let's see. Do you create a new Google account before YouTube? Well, Holly actually mentioned that she buys the PVA Google accounts and then she creates the YouTube channels from there. And that was covered earlier. How long did Holly say in the last webinar that is to take and edit out a Hangout at the beginning and end? I think it was about 3 or 4 seconds at the beginning and the end that you edit out, Holly, yeah? Yeah, I'm going to create a tool.
Yeah, it's roughly that.
I'm going to try and create a tool for that. That will be in another version of our sort of version 1.2 or 1.3 of the Hangout Traffic Commando. We will build a tool for to do that, to try and make that simpler for people and save a bunch of time so Holly can go and make more money. And how Dave Dolan asking, how can you stuff the keyword? How do you stuff keywords in the video? I take it, Dave, you're talking about the descriptions. Are you doing any sort of keyword stuffing at all? I don't think I saw that when I looked at your videos.
Yeah, I'm not, but I like it when you guys do, because then it gives me keywords.
Yeah,
but no, I don't.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually. What you just said, because I saw that the other day. I did an interview with Ron Gatt, and he had done some keyword stuffing, and I used the little trick that Rolie told us last week about using hashtags. And I used that, and I think we got into number 2 within minutes, actually, just using that one little trick. Rolie, would you mind to mention that again, what you were doing with the hashtags in your video descriptions?
Yeah, so like a lot of people stuff, 20, 30 keywords into the bottom of a YouTube description, and when you're doing the Hangout, basically there's the title and the description of the Hangout, and at the bottom of the description you just have to pick your anywhere between top 5 to top 10 keywords that you're looking to rank for. So like for Holly's AC repair Miami, you easily can do a hashtag of AC repair Miami, and a pile of those different hashtags, which don't necessarily show up in the YouTube video description, but Google parses them in the Google Plus side of things, and it actually parses them across all of Google Plus. So anybody searching for a AC repair Miami or Miami in the Google Plus system, it basically picks it up and it starts to create a little bit of a back follow, because any time that it shows up on a Google search, Google knows that it's hit another type of impression, which people don't. There's no ability to track it yet, that any type of searches within the Google Plus system, and I figure that's going to come at some point. But I've literally put just a hashtag in a Google Hangout description, and it's ranked only for the hashtag itself. So I know it works really well.
You mentioned before last week when we were chatting that you don't put any spaces in between the words when using hashtags. Is that correct?
Correct, yeah. So if you're going to do a hashtag of AC Repair Miami, it would flow all together as AC Repair Miami, and it wouldn't make sense as a keyword by stuffing it normally in a YouTube video. But as the hashtag system, no different than Twitter hashtags or anything like that, the system parses it out as it can parse it out as a keyword pretty easily. So
yeah. That's an awesome tip, actually. I did use it the other day, and I did see a difference in minutes, and literally. And Holly, you were right. Yeah, I scraped somebody else's keywords because it saved me a bunch of time. I was just being lazy, and it works.
Yeah, I went and found my competitor and took them all. I'm like, well, are you going to stick them up there?
There used to be a plugin that went and searched for, I think there's a plugin that does something like incoming search terms on WordPress. And somebody had created a tool that goes and scrapes for that particular term. I think you can probably do it in Scriptbox as well, actually. And we used to use that to go and grab their search terms because they were kind enough to put that publicly on their sites. And that was a fantastic way to go and get a whole bunch of keywords that people are actually searching for. Okay, let's carry on with the questions. And let's see. How to embed a video on the web too. That's done via RankWiz, Patrick. What Holly was saying is that she put the article and she'll put the embed code for the video there, and RankWiz will post that for her. How to choose affiliate product to promote. We just kind of covered that one. How long to get a VA ramped up to work 8 hours?
Probably like a week, maybe. I don't know, a week or two.
Yeah.
It depends on how smart they are.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's worth to put the effort in, and it's worth to have the patience. I've seen this multiple times where you just don't have patience with the people. But I guess if you got them, it's more of a one-on-one situation rather than a virtual assistant, and it's a little bit simpler to do as well. CJ Boston asking, do you use VidBlaster? I think, Rolie, you mentioned you might be using that. Somebody mentioned that before.
Yeah, I use VidBlaster to push my Hangouts or videos to Hangout.
Yeah.
It seems to work. Like I have a pretty high-end system dedicated just to pushing videos to Hangout, and it's the one that I've made use of that makes the fastest sense for it. So there's a few others, vMix, Wirecast. They just have a few more steps that it just cuts down on it with VidBlaster.
Yeah, I think we'll cover that one a little bit more in your webinar next week. I think that's an important one for a lot of people because it's a big topic with the Hangouts, is how you use pre-recorded video. So maybe we'll cover that one next Monday in a little bit more detail. Is YouTube not listing view counts under videos? I didn't see a count under appliance repair Las Vegas. Holly, you want to take that one?
Yeah, because it's a Hangout, so that's how you know it's a Hangout is that it doesn't show the views.
Yeah. No,
you'll see like likes and dislikes, but you'll never see the views.
Yeah. Dave asking 600 soundtracks. Did I miss something there? Did you mention something about 600 soundtracks before?
600 soundtracks? Yeah. I don't have sound. I record. Yeah, that's why you want to do pre-recorded, because I did 300 live and I lost that account. So I'm like, screw that. Pre-recorded.
Yeah. So you're also doing you're doing a pre-recorded, and okay, let's try and go back through the process again just to clarify for people. So you're pre-scheduling the Hangouts, and then you're sending, you're leaving that for 3 or 4 days before you do anything, okay, and see if they're still there. Then you're recording those, and you are sending links at what stage, Holly? You're sending before you do the recording or after, or both?
After I stream it through, then I pull the URL out and the embed, and then I go do the links.
Okay. And we will cover a little bit more next week with Rolie about doing the pre-recorded stuff as well, because Rolie's doing that as well, because we're sort of running out of time here. Leon asking who creates the Hangouts. We just covered that. Leon, Holly's got an assistant who works with her. She comes to Holly's place to do that. Dirk's mentioned USPS. I'm not sure what that is referring to. I'm guessing that's about the list of cities. Yeah, US Postal Service. That would be, wouldn't it? Yeah, I think that's what I meant.
Well, I wonder if they'll send me I'll have to call them. That's a good idea.
Yeah, it is actually quite a clever idea. Yeah. Ty has mentioned, there's a better way to get city names. I'll get that from Ty later. Jeff saying, holy crap, 600 HQs a day. Okay.
Yeah, that's low. We're going to do more than that, man.
Yeah. Dana saying 15-minute site for locations. I'm not sure what Is that a landing page you're talking about, Dana? I'm not quite sure. Dave Dolan mentioned something about Neighborhood Scout. I guess that's a software that might be doing, that might be able to pull the cities in. So these questions are actually going back to about 30 minutes ago, what we were talking about, and we're still about halfway down the questions. Okay. Where do I see part one? We'll put it in the PDF, but we've been emailing that one quite aggressively in the last week. So if you missed it, then we'll put a link in the PDF. Does Holly target zip codes in addition to cities? That's a good question.
Yeah, I put it in the tags. My landscaper guy wants to do zip codes in the title. I mean, I have to think of how I search. I don't put the zip code in my title, so I'm just stick it in the tag.
Yeah, and there's a couple of resources being pasted in there by Syed and Ty, so I'll put them into the PDF later as well. What is PA? Syed, that's page authority. We covered that a little bit. That's from Moz, page authority and domain authority. Moz sort of rank websites and pages according to the authority that they see via their algorithm. Okay, let's see. What is Holly's backlink strategy if the mass backlink strategy stops working?
I don't think it's gonna stop working because if Matt Cutts says it's not working, then I do it. So
I saw a conversation.
Links is what ranks.
I saw a conversation in another Facebook group about Google being black hatters. And I was yesterday, something happened yesterday that upset me. I can't remember exactly. And I was walking down to the beach later, and I was thinking about the Google thing. And I was thinking, they are actually the biggest spammers around because it's their algorithm that created all that crap content. People wouldn't have done it.
I spam the shit out of them. Yeah. I take Google.com, and when I'm cleaning my list to see if they're good, I put Google.com in the URL. So, I mean, I drop, they get links from me, and they don't drop, so screw that.
Yeah, but they're actually responsible for all the spam, for all those millions of pages of spammy links and spammy content, comments you got on your WordPress blogs. It's Google algorithm that caused that. They actually caused that. Arrogant twats they are. Anyway, let's carry on with this. See, actually, before we go further, you mentioned last week, Holly, that you don't turn off the backlinking. That's quite an important part that we sort of mentioned in part one. But you do scale it down, yeah?
Yeah, I scale it down to like I'll scale it down to 5,000 a day, then I'll scale it down to 2,000 a day, then I'll scale it down to 1,000 a day, and then I'll eventually go down to 1,000 a day.
Yeah, that's. I'm still shaking my head, like only 1,000 a day.
Well, because you're gonna have such link loss, You have to keep that up, or you're. Yeah, you got to keep that up.
Yeah. Okay. Rolie, do you do something similar? Do you keep your backlinks running all the time?
Yeah, not nearly at the 1,000 mark. I usually scale most of them stuff. I scale down to a few hundred a day, sometimes a few hundred a week, just because at that point I try to up the quality and types of links so that it's not all pure spam links that will lose itself over time. Most of the stuff tries to stick a little longer, so I try not to push as much.
Yeah, I see what you're saying now, and I think it really depends on the velocity that you start off with and the volume that you start off with as well, the way how much you're going to scale down to. That's just going to make sense in the end, according to what you started off, the volume and the speed that you started off at. Ty asking, Holly, please give a list of all the tools she uses. Okay, if Holly wants to do that, then that would be great. If not, then we'll try and figure out some stuff and put something together there. What is the link for the first video? We covered that a few times. Does Holly link out from the Hangout to a money site, or just rely on video for the phone calls and leads?
Well, I mean, like, To start, I just do the YouTube video, and then if I have a website or the person I'm working with has a website, then I'll link that out once it's done.
Yeah, and there's an offer here for you, Holly. Would Holly be open to a 15-minute phone call for a fee on a special situation for his own physical product? That's from Scott Rogers. So if you want to do that, let me know after, and I'll put you in touch with Scott. Okay, and
all right.
If there's no video on first page of Google, can you still get video to rank? This one comes up a lot. Really, it's a question every time we do video marketing type ranking discussions. This question always comes up. I personally don't think it matters if there's a video on page 1 or not, but I know that you mentioned before, Holly, that you look for that to see if it's going to be easy to rank, but have you had situations where you saw there's no video ranking on page 1, but you still got your Hangouts or other videos ranking?
Yeah, we tested actually. Pest Control Yorba Linda, I think it is, or something like that. There wasn't a video on the first page for, I don't know, I think it was the first couple pages, and the guy who was testing it got it on the first page. So I always look for like a social property to be on the first page because I know it's going to be a lot easier. But if it's not on the first page, that doesn't scare me.
Rolie?
You know, I mean, Rolie, do you think that, I think Google sometimes, though, won't let them come in.
For local lead stuff or like local business search stuff, I've never seen it that you can't get a video on the first page. And people say, well, there's Google Local sitting on the first page, so they won't let video. I pushed past Google Local almost every time that I've done it and tried. That's not a problem. The places that I found that you can't get video on is in real high authority search terms. Like if you were actually going to try to rank a video for the term spam, you wouldn't be able to do it just because it's synonymous with the meat and backlinking and whatnot. It would be very hard to put a video up for that because the first 4 or 5 pages are wikis about the type of product it is. So for some things like that, I've actually only ever gotten to the top of page 2, and it's never broken page 1. But for local stuff, I've never been able to not get a video up.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's see the next questions that we got so we can try and okay, Ken is asking, I came in late, do you do live Hangouts or insert the video into Hangouts? If you use videos, do you use special software to make the videos look good? I think it's a combination of both there, of doing sort of live streaming and the pre-recorded. Do you have any sort of percentage that you use that would be pre-recorded, or are you moving towards the pre-recorded more than the live streaming stuff?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
I used to do it all live until actually Rolie taught me how to set up my system to do pre-recorded. So now, and after I lost those channels, I do everything pre-recorded.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think it's such an easier way to do it as well. Probably, especially if you're going to use just the one video for multiple keywords as well. It just makes it a lot easier if you've got tools to automate that. Okay. Holly mentioned GScraper in the first webinar. How does she use it? I think it's GSA Scraper.
Yeah, it's GScraper. I pull out like footprints, and then I put my footprints and my keywords in, and then I put my threads at 1500, and I let it scrape into like proxies and all that good stuff. And I just let it scrape, and then GScraper also will post trackback, so you can post if you're scraping for trackbacks, then you can also post on that same list, and I take that list out and I put it in GSA also.
Okay.
Good. Yeah.
Let's see what's the next one comes out. Oh, that's an interesting question. Can I use backlinks from Fiverr while learning to use Scriptbox in GSA? That's an interesting question.
Yeah, I don't see why not, because a spam link is a spam link. A link's a link. So you can use SE Nuke or, you know.
I was expecting something like that, but I just wanted to keep silent for a second and let you come out with it.
A link is a link is a link, you know?
Yeah, okay. So, but it would get expensive using Fiverr. If you're going to be doing that, it's better to learn to use these tools, and you know you're going to keep your expenses way down. So, okay. Okay, well, I'm not sure what this means. From Mike, it says, so Holly's links go to a straw domain she owns and then puts the 301 on the straw domain. What is the straw domain? I'm sorry, I haven't heard that term before.
A straw domain? I'm guessing it just means like a 301 domain.
Yeah.
I've never heard it used as a straw domain.
Ty asking how you're sending the call report. Is it a web link or are you doing a PDF or something like that?
I just download. I just like download and put them in a file for him, and like Dropbox, you can just log into it. I don't really think there's that many people who actually listen to it. I don't know, but I put them in Dropbox for him so he can listen to them.
Okay, and Siji asking how you upload 300 Hangouts in an hour. That's by using the virtual assistant. Oh, not your assistant actually. Not virtual because they're with you. What level of espionage does she use? I don't know how to pronounce espionage.
It's the top. It's the top level.
Okay. And what exactly is that doing? I was actually looking at questions while you had that one open. Can you just explain very briefly what you use that for?
So when I do PPC, I want to see what my competitors go after. So I put in his domain that he has Prosper on, and then I can see what you can see what his PPC keywords are, so I know what I want to bid on, and then I can look at his SEO keywords too that way.
Okay, yeah.
Because I don't want to waste the extra time. I mean, if I track certain people who I know they know their stuff, so then you know, if he's going to go after it, then I'll go after it too.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody's saying, sorry, came in late. What is GSA? GSA is it's a tool that does some backlinking and stuff for you. We will cover GSA at some point in a little bit more detail. Something I don't actually use myself at the moment, but I need to start getting into because I see it mentioned so many places. Greg asking how to make so many videos so quickly. We kind of covered that already, Greg, between part one and this webinar. Basically what Holly is doing is she's making just one video usually, and she's just just doing variations of that for various keywords. I think we covered that one in a lot of detail. Maybe just watch a replay from part one as well, which will cover that in a bit of detail. Somebody needs to put out an ebook about this. It would be a very long ebook, guys, because we're already 2 hours and a half for a video. If you want to write it, go ahead. We'll give you a pat on the back if you want to do that. Okay, is there any way someone could lay all of this out in a more step-by-step process? It is overwhelming, Larry, even for me. Okay, so you're not alone. It is pretty overwhelming, but I'm starting to grasp bits and pieces because we've been talking about it for about 6 weeks. So yeah, we'll try and, if somebody wants to take some of the basics from this, and we'll put it, maybe we can put something together, then send it over to Holly, and if we've got any missing pieces, or if she wants to help to do that or whatever. I'll talk to Holly later about that if she's got the time, or if she wants to do something like that. It's up to her. She's given her time and information freely, and I'm really appreciative of that. So I don't want to take the piss, as we say in Scotland. So let's just see how Holly feels at the end of that. Okay. Once Holly fires up the website, how does she add backlinks to the website? Does she put video on it? Well, Dave, that was all covered by the rank quiz stuff, and all this needs to be done with screenshots of the software. So yeah, well, you're welcome to do that, mate. Up to you if you want to do that. We'll all benefit from that. And would Holly be interested in offering any private coaching? If you want to do that, Holly or Rolie, then let me know, and I can put something together for you to make it as painless as possible for you if you're interested to do that. Okay, and Syed's still trying to get me back on Facebook in the middle of the webinar. Thanks, Syed. I'm looking for, there's a lot of repeat kind of questions here, so just bear with me, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're talking about some different tools like ACT and things like this. Somebody, John Walker, has put a resource in for a service, magic rate schedule sheet. So I'm not sure what that is. I need to look at that later, John. And CJ asking about uploading videos. Again, we covered that. And there's a link for something from Liz Tommy as well. We'll go into that later. Okay. I'm just saying a lot of repeat stuff. Guys, if I've missed any questions, because there's been so many, if there's any questions that I've missed that you really, really, really want to get answered, I think now would be the time to do it, and we can start to wrap up. So if you've got any specific questions that have not been answered, then please put them in and we will try and answer them. Okay, because it's just a lot of repeat stuff here that we've already answered, and it's just that it gets a little bit repetitive reading them all out. Larry asking, how does this compare with the Hangout tool that we're going to produce? Well, basically, I'm going to try and tailor over time into something similar to what Holly and Rolie are doing. But we're starting off with the tools that we already have, guys, okay? But the goal is that we can take some bits and pieces that both Holly and Rolie are mentioning, like editing and stuff like that is time consuming, and make a tool for that, and make tools for various things that we can automate different things. And they've been really brilliant help with giving me some ideas and what we can use. So version 1.0 will be it'll look completely different from version 1.5, for example. We're just going to put it out, and we're going to just keep making it better and better and better, so we can automate as much as possible to replicate something similar to what Holly and Rolie have been talking about. That's the goal, okay? That's the end goal, to be able to do that. In next week's webinar, can we cover using VidBlaster to do pre-recorded videos? Rolie, if you feel that something that we could cover using VidBlaster, would you mind to cover that next week?
Yeah, I think that should be able to.
Yeah.
I should be able to make that work.
And can you get a transcript of the webinar generated? Dave is asking. I hope you're not talking about this webinar, Dave. Nobody's going to sit and do a transcript to this. This is epic kind of thing, but no, don't say that. Okay. Was Holly getting married soon? Congrats if so.
Oh goodness. Holly's next question.
How important is it to use private proxies? Do we need to cover tracks when using these powerful tools? I think, yeah, Ryan definitely used private proxies. If Holly's using 200, then it tells you it's kind of important there. Okay.
Yeah.
So Hangouts don't...
I don't want my spam getting back to me.
Yeah. Larry asking, Hangouts don't benefit from a number of views. Not according to Holly's system, no, it's pure backlinking and stuff like that. Okay. And Dana saying, wrap it up, it's only been 2.5 hours. Okay. Service Magic Zip is a rate schedule, the cost Holly mentioned to put a value on your local leads you drive. Thanks, John. We'll look into that a little bit later. I'm still a little bit confused what it is, mate, but thank you for posting the resource, and maybe we can talk on Facebook about that later. Is Facebook, the group, the best place to stay updated with all developments? Yeah, Alan, I'm in the Facebook group all the time. Okay, now we had an older group and we got a new group, which is smaller but more active, and we've got a couple of fan pages. I'm in there every single day. It's just easier for me, and it's easier for everybody else to keep up with what's going on with various updates and information about what Holly and Rolie are doing as well from these sort of follow up from these webinars as well. Okay, and what do private properties cost? We'll cover that, Ryan. We'll put something in the PDF. And Don saying special thank you to Holly and Rolie. You guys are terrific with sharing the information. Couldn't agree more. And I think that's us just about wrapped up. If anybody wants to add anything else, Holly or Rolie, I think we're just about done. We've done about 2.5 hours, and it's been really good. Just phenomenal information. Thank you.
Incredible.
Okay, Robert, I'll let you wrap this up because you started the webinar. I need you to end the webinar. But before you end the webinar, can you please click on where it says file and save questions log, because there's a lot of questions here I want to go through, and maybe we can try and get someone to create a PDF from that. Or if a couple of people want to work on it together, what I'll do is I'll give them one license key each or something when we give that person or persons a lifetime copy of the Hangout Traffic Commando. Okay, so you need to end the webinar. So I'll let you wrap it up, Robert, and give us your thoughts on the content tonight.
Okay, I've saved both the chat log and the questions log, and I just want to thank Holly and Rolie for coming, and I was glad I was able to bring you both together, and looking forward to having you next week. Rolie and Holly, you would be very welcome to attend also if you have time.
Yeah, Rolie blows my mind on many things that he does, and I can't find any of his stuff, so I like listening.
I like listening to the both of you too.
I always try to be like, what is he doing?
This is the cutting edge right here. The lead the field kind of information that if people can bring this together, there's no way that they can fail to succeed online, and it's just incredible that we can come together and get this information. Nobody's trying to charge us $1,000 for it, because a lot of people would. They wouldn't even think about talking about this kind of stuff without wanting big money.
Absolutely.
So we are privileged.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that 100%, and I really appreciate that both of you are willing to share, so willing. That's another one of those word days. So freely, okay. Anyway, guys, thank you for attending. Thank you, Holly. Thank you, Rolie. Thank you, Robert. And we'll see you in the fan page. In the Facebook group, and we'll put the replay in the fan page when it's done. And you are recording this, Robert, yeah?
Yes, I am.
You can press stop the recording before you press exit, so that we got a copy of this, because I would hate to lose it. Okay, thanks, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
All right, that was fun.
Yeah, it sure was. Sure was.
Oh, they can't hear you now? Does that
I
mean
can hear
like...
you.
Oh, no, I meant the audience. So I didn't know
No.
you could still be in here and not have them hear you.
You just end the webinar
That's
yeah,
cool.
and we can just sort of carry on talking from there. That's the same when we start it up as well. We're able to talk before we actually start the start recording, start presentation button, which is pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So that was epic. That was quite a long time, and I've still got my Camtasia running here.
That was totally